You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're gonna help you get there. I'm your host, Isabel Guarino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Today's episode is all about competition in business. And we're going to talk about why I actually invite my competition to company events and how I think competition can foster growth and fair play in a competitive world. So let's dive right in. You know, when it comes to staying in your own lane, you have to realize there's no traffic in your own lane. But I really think that when people focus on just what they're doing and don't want to collaborate and see what else is happening in the industry around them, it could be a detriment to them. I literally teach my competitors because it should help you elevate yourself and your own business. I also want to say this, I actually don't really feel that there's any competition in life, in business, in games, in relationships, because the reality is that if you feel that everyone around you is your competition, you're going to come off with a more aggressive energy than if you feel, hey, we're all in this together. Everyone has their own secret sauce. Everyone has their own little spice that they bring that makes it different. I could say the same 10 words and you could say the same 10 words and they're going to sound and feel and mean different things to different people. You know, I love to invite my industry competitors to our events, specifically our national convention. We have about 40 competitors, I would say, in the residential assisted living education space. And every year when it comes to our national convention, I send them all a personal email and even call them personally to invite them to the event, because that big event is a convention for everyone in the industry. And so their students who they're teaching should be coming. My students who I'm teaching should be coming because it's an industry event. It's not about me selling them anything or me taking their, people, their students or whatever we want to call it, their clients. That's not what it is. But what's really sad is of our 40 competitors, there is one who takes me up on my offer every single year. That is it. People are scared. But when you think what are they scared of? To me, they're afraid that if they come see me, that they're going to come to me. They're going to want to work with me instead of work with them. And that's why I think if you view people as competition, you have a lot of fear and you're not giving your best foot forward, and people can feel that. So to me, it's a lot better to work with everyone, keep it collaborative, and invite other people in, because no one is going to do it exactly the way that you do. Everybody's a little bit different, and it's going to speak to a different person based on who you are. I think that when you're working with competitors, it's really important to be authentic. You can literally turn industry competition into partners when you lead with authenticity. The two of you likely have similar goals, similar businesses, similar paths to getting where you want to be, and everyone knows that the carpool lane is fast during rush hour. When you work together, you can get to that goal a lot faster. There's a lot of benefits to partnering with others in your industry, like having leads come to your event, or even, people reposting what you're doing. When I have someone in my industry who posts something that's amazing about assisted living education, I don't want to just watch that video and steal what he said or she said and curate that myself. I'm going to stitch it. And I'm going to say, oh my gosh, point back to them. Look at how amazing they are. Look at this education they're providing. I agree. Or here's my take. Don't take those opportunities for granted. Show up and don't let greed overtake service. Are you in this business to make money, or are you in it because you care about people being successful in your and other industries? If you focus on relational success over transactional success, you actually won't care that much about your competition, and you're going to be happy to promote them. Because if I really care about people opening assisted living businesses, I don't care if they learn from me or Joe Schmo down the street. It's like karma. What goes around comes around. If I genuinely want to improve this industry and people to do it, I don't care how they learn. Of course, selfishly, I want them to come to me, but that's not my main goal. My main goal is that they actually do this. So showing up to their happy hours or events, introducing them to people that would benefit from them knowing each other. I think about this. One of our competitors, he offers an extremely similar education business, but it's a little bit different. He teaches people how to to live in an assisted living home versus we show you how to do it as a more professional, hands-off business owner. Now, when someone comes to me and they say, hey, I want to learn how to live in the home, I'm going to point them to him. Because when they come to my class, they're actually not going to have a great time. So it's good to know what they offer and know what they offer that's different than you so you can refer them accordingly. Remember to always be honest and follow through on your promises. That's step one. If you're honest, if you're trustworthy, and you actually do what you say you're going to do, connect somebody, promote somebody, what is BS is when people say yeah, of course I'll promote your convention. And then they're like, I'll never do that, right? That's just stupid. Don't lie to people. If you say that you're going to help them out, then do it. So if you don't want to do it, then be honest with them. Hey, I'm not comfortable promoting this to my list, but thanks so much for the offer. And that's fine. When we think about what to remember when it comes to competition in business, you can be friendly. You can respect your competition. Heck, you can even admire your competition, right? You should be paying attention because you might actually learn a few things, maybe tactics or strategies that are working for them, which aren't for you. And what could you do to 10x your business, right? There's going to be things that you watch that you don't like, right? Or things that you love. And all that different research and education on what else is out there in the market is only going to make you more impressive to your client. Always keep at least one eye on your competition. Lead with authenticity, not your ego. But when you decide to reach out or bump into a competitor or lean on those similarities that you have in business, right? Show interest in their business and their success. Ask them how it's going and be genuinely curious, right? Curiosity always sparks innovation versus statements lead towards more egotistical remarks. So you make sure that you're asking them questions, that you're genuinely wanting to know about what's going on with them. When you're marketing your business outside of your new relationship, sell yourself on what makes you different from your industry peers. While your business may have similarities, there's only one you and there's only one version of your business, and that's your business. It's your baby. So to me, I really love to lay out what makes you different, identifying your strengths, identifying your weaknesses, and then marketing yourself with those strengths, with those things that make you different. I was having 3 window companies come to my house because I wanted to replace all the windows. And I wanted to get 3 different quotes and interact with different companies to see who might be the right fit. And as the first guy came, he focused on, what do I want to hear? Right? I was like, I want to hear price point and timeline. That's all I cared about. And he focused on what I wanted to hear as the client. The second guy sat there and told me 5,000 things, literally, that made his company different than the company who already came and the company who was about to come. And I was like, bro, I don't care. Yes, you need to be marketing your business that way, but listen to your client and what they want to hear. If one of those things that makes you different is the thing that's going to help them choose you, then hone in on that. Don't just list off 5,000 things about why you're different than the competition down the street, right? You want to make sure that you're doing it in the right way that speaks to your client's language. If you don't know your strengths and weaknesses, you could do a SWOT analysis, identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, okay? This will help you in placing your business appropriately amongst competition. Number 1, ask for feedback from your friends, families, other professionals inside and outside of your industry, and even your clients. They're going to be able to tell you what you're great at and sometimes what you're not so great at. When you analyze your competition, this helps you engage in their experience with their brand. It helps you immerse yourself so you have a complete understanding of who they are and what you're up against. This will help you see what threats your business is possibly up against. And when it comes to evaluating employee performance and feedback, this might also help you identify some strengths, weaknesses, or opportunities. Are you missing the mark? And maybe your competition has something that you don't. And when you look deeper into that, it could be added to your opportunities category. When you analyze financial reports, this is going to help you keep your money right and tight, which is a must. I definitely suggest getting a CPA you can trust because you shouldn't be really doing all of that busy work, right? Make sure that you pay someone, hire someone to help take care of that for you. When it comes to your competition, right, you don't have to be against them, right? It's more important to have something in common because together we are all doing something in this industry. So what makes you similar? What makes you different? That SWOT analysis will really help you curate all those answers because then you can market to your clients, like we talked about, the right things to focus on. Not just here's all the differences, but what differences did that client actually care about? Could you imagine if you were the only one in your field or in your location? That'd be pretty freaking lonely if you ask me. And I get it. It sounds weird being told, hey, befriend your competition. And, don't you want to be best friends with all these people who you're supposed to be, battling up against? But the reality is that when you're working with someone towards the same goal, it can help you get there faster. They might have learned things that will help you. I know with us and ad spend, we do a ton of marketing and we spend a lot of money in ad spend, almost 30 grand a week on ad spend for one of our businesses. And when we talk to other people who are promoting their events as well, they want to know that. They want to know the numbers. They want to know what it's looking like, what our target market is, what our SEO, categories are. And I'm happy to share with them because we're similar, but we're different. They're not going to do copy repeat the exact same thing as me. When we're kids and we're playing sports and the team that you're against, right? You're in the blue jerseys and they're in the white jerseys and you just want to kick their ass and that's all you care about. But when it comes to competition in business, it's not always like that. Sometimes it's better to befriend than it is to compete. The best example of this is like MMA or UFC. These guys kick and elbow and punch and choke each other for 25 minutes, and then afterwards, they show their respects and gratitude to one another. Why? Well, because they need each other to be great at what they do. No one wants to watch a fighter stand in the ring alone. They want to watch two people go at it. You need your competition to be great at what you do. They're going to sharpen your tools. This is the major leagues. They're going to help you get to that next level because everything that they put up against you, that they beat you at, you want to come back even harder, right? You want to make sure that you do it better the next time. If you want to go fast, right, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. I believe that's an African proverb and it's so, so true. There's power in working with others who are in your same business, even if they're not in your business. There's so much to learn and there's so many different perspectives to take in and there's so much success to be had by collaborating and sharing ideas with industry peers. Because like we said, your secret sauce is what's going to make you stand apart no matter what anyways. So you don't have to worry about people stealing things, right? I don't think people are going to steal from you, but that's because I'm a pretty positive, glass half full type of gal. But there are people who are not so great in business. We all know this. We've all met them. We've all seen them. So when we think about the difference between imitation and copying, imitation can be defined as like when a child watches a demonstration of a shape being formed, right? You're drawing a circle and then they immediately just try to do what they just saw. They're imitating art, right? And so they're trying to make it happen versus copying can be defined as a child simply being shown a picture or a model of the shape and then they try to produce it on their own. So it's very similar, but it's different. And when I think about copying versus imitation, there's a lot of inspiration you can draw from competition. But I do have kind of a crazy story about copying. I remember that there's this guy who is a competitor with us and literally we would post YouTube videos and within 2 days, he would have the exact same script, but him doing the video and he posts it on YouTube. And the craziest thing is he's a different sex, race, age than me. So someone hears him saying it and is like, I love that. He's a genius. And someone hears me saying it and they're like, I love her. She's awesome. And someone else sees him and says he's the worst. And someone sees me and says I'm the worst. So it totally sucks that he was totally ripping us off. But that's why I say there's no competition in business because even though he was ripping us off, I'm not mad at it because someone is going to love him and hate me. And that's totally fine. But honestly, at the end of the day, you really shouldn't be doing that. I'm going to advise against it because nobody wants to work with someone who's going to keep coming with that energy. So I was at this mastermind one time and literally this person got kicked out of this mastermind because they were telling us that this was their MO. So Let's just call their business Microblading by Michaela, or that actually wasn't their business, right? That was the competition who was paying for a ton of ad spend to get girls in Scottsdale to be coming to her microblading business. And this person went and paid for the transfer. So every time you clicked on the ads that said microblading with Michaela, it took you to their website, which was microblading with Melissa, right? And it was literally stealing and ripping off all of their ad spend so that they would come up as the sponsored ones. And it was just like, how trashy are you? Like, don't do that. Don't steal people's things just so you can be the top search result. Like, it was just so like, oh, you're telling us this as like advice on what we should do with our competition? Like, no, this is bad, bro. Like, we're not going to do this at all. And they literally got kicked out of the mastermind because people started being like, I don't want to work with this person. Like, I don't even want them around because it seems like they're the type of person who's going to listen and hear all of our ideas and turn them all in a negative way. And so it's just really, really not good business practice when you are literally copying people, whether it's watching their YouTube videos and completely redoing it exactly the same, like what the hell? Or when you are stealing traffic from someone's website, those things are going to earn you a bad reputation and you're going to be one of the competitors that nobody wants to work with. There's a saying, work smarter, not harder. And I love that. But how about work smart, work hard, and always practice good business? I mean, come on. You want to have a good reputation, so don't be a jerk when it comes to copying people or imitating them. You do not want to become known as a thief of information or clients. That's a quick way to get a bad reputation. Here are some of my favorite tips for practicing good business. Focus on your core competencies. We talked about doing the SWOT analysis and learning your strengths and weaknesses. So identify what your business does best and focus on that. Build strong relationships, both internally and externally. This goes with your employees, with your partners, vendors, peers, clients, customers, basically everybody. Relationships are everything in business. Stay agile and flexible. No matter what industry you're in, it's always going to be changing. Everything's dynamic these days. You must be willing to adapt to a changing market and all the conditions that come with it, or you're going to get left behind. You must always be prepared to hit the curveball. Stay ahead of the competition. Do this by understanding their strengths and weaknesses. Develop a strong value proposition for your own business and always be innovating and updating your products and services. Focusing on customer experience is really going to help you. I can't say this enough. It's vital to have customer retention and build a reputable brand and business. So be sure to include personalization and to communicate quickly and effectively and listen to customer feedback. People talk to other people. It's most beneficial to you that they continue to share good things about you and your business and your services. You know, I have to think about me personally, and I do keep an eye on my competition. Every so often, I click on all their websites, I see what they're pushing, I see what their price points are, what they're offering, but never once have I seen a competitor who does something and say, oh, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna make it my own. No way. I just see what they're doing and I say, cool, good for them. And then I say, okay, that's their thing. It's their idea. It's their product. But it's my job as a young boss, as an entrepreneur, to be innovative, to be thinking about what's ahead, to be thinking about how can I make this better, right? Literally your job as a boss is to be thinking of the future, is to be a visionary, is to be predicting the future and being able to know what's to come. So when you keep your eye on what's going on around you, not stealing things, but leveraging it to inspire you and help you level up and see what's ahead. Keeping your ear to the streets, knowing what's going on, what everybody else is seeing and what they're shifting to, right? That's going to help you. Use competitors' work to inspire you and ignite new ideas, maybe to understand and analyze their ideas, their business, their products, so you know what sets you apart. Also use it to identify parts of their business that you do or don't like, because all those things, like the window guy listing off the 5,000 things that makes them different, right? That's what's going to help you separate yourself. When you take in that info and you can make it your own and apply it to your business, but always put your spin on it and make sure that you're listening to what your customer wants. I'm not going to send my competition business unless the customer tells me I want to go work in the assisted living home. Okay, great. Now I'm going to pass you to him because now you're no longer a fit to me. If I wasn't listening to my customer first, if I wasn't aware of what my competitors offered, I wouldn't be able to pass business and I wouldn't have been able to help that client. So all those things help keep it in alignment. Being able to put your own spin on stuff is always going to help you stay innovative, stay fresh, and stay, having a strong vision and moving forward in that way. Hey, it's me, Isabel Guarino. I hope you're enjoying the episode. If you are, be sure to subscribe and share with a friend. Now, back to the show. What happens if you don't have any competition? Well, it could actually be a good thing or it could be troublesome. Let's start with why it could be a good thing. You're the monopoly and you can be the first to market. And I think Gary Vee is the one to say that the first to educate the market is the first to dominate the market. So this can aid you in the long run, but don't hold your breath because if it truly is a good idea, more will come. How many times have you thought of something and been like, this is the most genius idea in the world, and then somebody else came up with it, right? Just this past weekend, I was hanging out with one of my friends who has a baby, and everyone always says like you can't have nails when you have a baby, and because wiping diapers, right? But I was helping the baby in and out of the car, and I'm like, it's not about the diapers, it's about these stinking car seats. I can't open any of these buttons with my nails because I can't press the buttons. So I told her, I said, I should come up and invent something that you can wear on your knuckle to press the button so it's a lot harder so I can help the baby get out. And she's like, it's already invented, right? Like we all have those ideas like, oh my gosh, genius idea, I'm going to make $1 million. Be ready to establish yourself as the first and the best and run as hard as you can towards your goals. Because when you are the first, you need to go as fast and as far as possible because no one can ever take away from you being the first. A few benefits of being the first to market, well, you have a competitive advantage. Brand recognition, you might be the first of, many to come later, but you are the brand in it, right? You're the Kleenex of tissue paper. Maybe higher margins. You might be able to charge more because you've been around the longest, because you're the best, you're the biggest, you're the whatever. You might be a first mover in learning, right? You are bringing education to the market, and that's how you can dominate. You also might have a strong market position. If you're one of one, then really everybody knows who to go to and it's you. So take advantage of your vice grip on your industry and use this time to not only create an incredibly unique market share, but leverage the fact that you're the only business and build on that, right? It's not Elf where it's like world's best coffee. That's not what I'm saying. But if you really are the first, make it known. Everybody wants to be you. You could be the first coffee if that's what you truly are. Capture as much of the market as you can during this time. This will benefit you in the long run, especially when everybody else gets wind of your great idea. Lastly, build brand awareness and establish yourself in the market as the leader in the industry. Accomplish as much as possible in those first few years. Your goal should be to create an unclosable gap, to create a distance so far that your competitors will never catch up. So what happens when you don't have any competition? Well, when you find yourself on a deserted island with just you, your ideas, and your business, first, it's way too easy to become complacent. If nobody's threatening to take food off your table, to take cash out of your hands, then where's the motivation? It can become way too easy to lose sight of the need to innovate and improve and keep pushing forward. You also have to consider a big con is that you might have a limited market. This one is tough because if there was a market for your services, might there be a few other people out there trying to capitalize? So you may need to be wary of markets with little to no competition. Always do your research. Why is no one else in this business? What are you seeing that everybody else isn't? Are you just early to the game, or is there something up? It's always important to remember that just because there's no competition today doesn't mean there won't be competition tomorrow. It takes all of 10 minutes to register an LLC. So think about that the next time that you're dancing on your little island. Somebody could pull up in their boat at any moment. Lastly, if you aren't able to observe the success or lack thereof from competitors, then benchmarking and gauging your own success from your business can become almost impossible, right? When you think about it, if you don't have anyone to compare yourself to say, how good am I doing? Let's say you're running a race and you don't know what everybody else can run, right? You're thinking, oh, a 20-minute mile, I think I'm doing good. I'm getting across the finish line, right? Like, I feel like I'm going at a good pace. And then you get in the race finally with everybody else and they're running 6-minute miles, right? You have no benchmarks. If nobody else is in business with you, you don't know how fast or how far is normal. So if there is no one in your business or in your realm, then maybe it's one of those things where you want to look at a similar industry and start befriending people over there to maybe check out what gauges they're using, what benchmarks they're trying to hit. And then you can kind of create that for yourself. When I think about all of our businesses, our residential assisted living academy, we were really one of the first people who started officially training on this business. We truly were one of the first to market. And because of that, we knew it. And so we went crazy. We started the only national association for all of the residential assisted living care homes. And we started the only convention for all of the RAL care home owners. We really said, we're going to corner the market, be the best, be the first, go the hardest. And we worked so incredibly hard over the last 10 years to build these businesses up so that no one could reach us. It would take them 10 plus years, millions of dollars, lots of team members to figure out what we figured out. So when someone comes and they pop up as a new competitor, I can kind of look at it with a little smirk because I know how much energy it's going to take to be in true competition with us. We've been at it the longest and we've been at it in a very intensive way. So don't be afraid of competition. Competition breeds innovation. It forces you to be creative, to keep innovating and dialing in your own business. Competition is vital to the success of all of our businesses in all industries. If my buyer can't compare my product to yours, then it would be harder for my product to stand out. Right? There's got to be some reason why they're choosing me over you, and that's okay. That's why we're focusing on what makes us all different. Let's remember, this is about the client, the customer, the consumer. They're the true benefactors of all of this innovation and creation. So always respect your competition, remain friendly, and even find ways to incorporate them or invite them into parts of your business. If you're being invited to something by a competitor, don't be fearful or nervous. Don't be afraid to promote it to your list. Go check it out. It's likely that you'll learn or observe a few things and meet a few interesting people and leave with your head held high. Maybe you'll be feeling inspired to continue pushing your business forward. Fear breeds growth, just like competition breeds innovation. So embrace it. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Young Boss Podcast with me, Isabel Guarino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and tell me about a time that you partnered up with competition. Did it go well? Did it go poorly? I want to know. Leave me a comment. Remember, youth is your power.